Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you my very favorite game. Finally, after I feel a little more comfortable with my recording and editing software, I am going to be going through the best game of like the last 4 years. I mean, the whole game series is amazing. We're at its fourth iteration, which is really its like sixth iteration if you count all the side games. I present to you Fallout 4. I'm gonna explain during this intro of why this is kind of my favorite game. One, it's one of the few games I had when I was as a child, and I played a lot of it. I remember trading chores to my brother so that he would let me use his computer so that I could play this game. I I played the hell out of this game. The original iteration was a top-down isometric RPG, and it was so much fun. I wish that when I was younger, I knew that you could turn down the difficulty a little because, again, as a younger kid, playing this game was really freaking hard. I didn't quite understand some of the smaller keys to it, but now I like replaying those games as an adult. I crush them. Like I know the ins and outs. I probably know where every single piece of good gear, every single quest line that is in the game is there. And then the second game was more of the same but better. And then the less known one, Fallout Tactics, has a very interesting side story that I don't think they've really canonized, but it's a lot of fun because you're running around as this like team of Brotherhood of Steel soldiers and initiates, and you're crushing across the wasteland. It's so much fun. Then Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was kind of a new thing because it added it in as a first-person shooter with a lot of RPG elements. The VAT system, the stop-go. I still remember when that first came out. It was a lot of fun. It was very interesting, very new. I still do wish that they would go back to their isometric RPG style, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. The third game, New Vegas, were all really good, and then this one's very similar to those two, except for it's a little more first-person shootery, which I think was maybe a little bit of their downfall. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. It's really hard to compare the two. It's definitely very first-person shootery. Yeah. I those of you who remember when this game first came out, I spent more than 24 hours playing it straight. I only stopped because I remembered that I had an accounting test I had to go do. I went, did the accounting test, aced it. I actually got like a 96% on it. It was awesome. Yeah. Then I was done with the test. I went back and kept playing this game for like a week straight. Well, I'm gonna actually pause the video here. I'm gonna go through my character creation stuff because I'm sure you guys don't want to watch that. Sounds pretty boring. And we're back. We are ready. This is gonna be a clean playthrough. I'm starting over, not using any mods. I am gonna be having it on very hard difficulty, not survival, because survival is just really annoying to deal with. I feel like they made it a certain level of annoying of just the inability to fast travel in this game is just irritating. It doesn't really add a difficulty to it. It just makes it annoying. If they had kept everything else in, like having to keep track of your food and water and stuff like that, and then allow you to fast travel, like that would be fine. Even like fast traveling makes you really freaking hungry, really freaking tired, and really freaking thirsty. Like if I had to spend an amount to fast travel, I would still totally do it. But it's awful. But anyway, on a less complaining note, I actually really liked this intro the first time I played it. there's a lot of stuff to like interact with that's really cool. This is essentially what they demoed at E3. Um, but it does lend to one of the things I didn't like about this game. But I'll talk about that at a later video. So essentially what this is the pre-war home you live in. Your backstory is supposed to be that you were a U.S. soldier, retired, married, had a kid during one of the previous wars.
War never changes. Got that right.
Yeah, he really likes that line. The writer for this game really loves that line. But yeah, so it's very interactive, very immersive.
Good morning. Vault-Tec calling.
This freaking guy. So this is one of my smaller gripes, is the like Bethesda, or not even, it's like the EA like talk screen. It's the thing they did in Mass Effect that was really popular, and it's like what I really liked about the Fallout games was the very, very interesting, like, weird dialogue you could have with people. You know, one of my first instances of this is I played a character in the original Fallout game that was, he was dumb as bricks, or what was the phrase? Thick in the neck, dumb in the eyes. He had like an intelligence of 1, so in the Fallout game he could barely audibly create speech. So this made for very interesting conversations with people, or lack thereof. I ran into Junktown, and one of the first things that happens is you meet a guard, and he tells you to put your weapons away and all that stuff. And the only thing I could respond with were different grunts, different noises. And the guard always responded with, "What's wrong with you? Like, you need to put your guns away. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna kill you." And then you just keep audibly, and then he just opens combat. So I killed him and every single person in Junktown, because my character was completely overpowered apart from that, because I had like no intelligence but everything else, and I was running like this tanky melee build. Perfect timing. So we're gonna be going over my build right now. Trent Williams, my original alter ego. So I'm going to be running kind of a rifleman build, if you will. It's going to be... what's the word for it? Very, very averaged out, but I mean, I'm eventually going to get all of my stats up to 10. That's one of the things I do in this game. I think it helps out a lot. Especially unlocking all of the really cool things. I'll explain that later once we actually get to the trees. But yeah, I'm going to be running perception, intelligence, agility. Essentially, rifleman. Especially because rifles are classified, or shotguns are classified as rifles in this game. Which I said in an earlier video, shotguns are like my very favorite thing in any shooter game. So there's one of the gimmicks in this game that I don't really have a problem with it. It's very interesting. I feel like it's just a gimmick though. Like, it doesn't really add any value to the game. I mean, it helps you feel a little more immersed, but not massively. Not a lot. Yeah, I can't wait to get to the section of this game outside of the story, because I mean, I've played this storyline because you have to do it every single time you start a new game. It's got that Skyrim problem where you just make a save that you can just go over and rewrite. I forget what. Oh right, yeah, I'm supposed to touch the mobile. And baby Sean.
Listen, after breakfast, I was thinking we could head to the park for a bit. Weather should hold up.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Mom, you should come and see
So now this is kind of the moment we've all been waiting for in this intro, is what this is showing is what happens when the actual bombs fall before the game. Because if you don't know, Fallout is a post-apocalyptic game. You are in this like wasteland after a giant nuclear explosion, multiple.
Oh no.
We do have coming in. That's confirmed reports. I repeat, confirmed reports of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania. My God.
Oh my god.
We need to get to the vault now.
I've got Sean. Let's go.
So again, one of the things I do like about the voice acting in this game is it's not so dead as some of the other games. Like it sounds like the actors actually care about what's happening.
It's okay.
Like, you know, a lot of these voice actors here in this section, like they actually feel scrambled. They sound like they are panicked. They sound like, oh my god, bombs are dropping, we're all gonna die. Which in some of the other Fallout games, they really didn't do that. Like, the characters sound like conky most of the time. You know.
You can't stop me.
Poor Vault-Tec rep. We actually run into him later. Later.
Otherwise, return home. We need to get in.
Such jerks.
We're on the list.
Infant, adult male, adult female. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
So one of the funny things in this game, though, is you can totally just dick around in this section. You don't have to be rushed. You don't have to feel like, oh my god, everything's gonna go on, because, you know, it's a video game. Everything's gonna wait for you. But the first time I played this, I definitely was like, oh my god, running. You know, so that kind of lends to a little bit of an interesting immersion, at least for me.
I love you. Both of you.
We love you too. Oh my god.
And there it is. That is one of the stunning visuals they showed at E3.
Oh god.
And then down in the vault we go.